said you started thinking about getting a job.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I got pregnant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can imagine if your dad was still mad at you for... Okay.
Yeah, so that happened, and
This was your boyfriend at the time?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I had to tell my parents, this is what's the situation now. And I remember I told my brother first. I mean, that's not an easy thing to tell your parents. So I told my bro, and he said, you come home. I said, so that my father can kill me. I said, you, leave me alone. He's like, no, come home. I think he also knows how a little, stubborn I can be. So he told my mom.
Oh.
Yeah. And so my mom called
So you
me.
weren't home at that time?
No.
Okay.
I was at home, but not at home. Yeah. So my mom calls me, and she's like, she asks me to come have breakfast with her and my dad. My dad belonged to it's called Full Gospel Businessmen's Fellowship. And they did used to have these prayer breakfasts and things like that. So she says, you come for one of these things and then we'll talk. So I just immediately, first of all, called my brother and told him, Gwe, did you tell mom? Why is she calling me and asking me? He's like, no.
He lied.
Yeah. I'm like, no.
She just wants to see
Yeah.
you. Eh? It's a trap.
Yeah, you know.
It's a trap.
You know. But I know mom she's the soft one. So, okay. I'm like, okay. So I met her and she's like, yeah, I know. This is what it is. But come home. No one's going to judge you. No one's going to, this has happened, but don't think of doing anything foolish. Just come home. Let's figure it out at home.
Okay.
Hey.
Did your dad
So I
know
was
at that point?
No. And I asked her and dad. And she's like, you leave that to me. You just come.
Good woman.
Yeah. So, yeah, I did go home and it worked out. They're Christians. I come from, they're both born again. So I think the God factor also just kind of prevails at the end of the day. Yeah, I don't know, whatever it is, because, man, my dad that I knew.
There's also, I think, some sprinkling of magic of being grandparents. There's just something when they're like a grandchild, many times they're just like, oh. So he came around.
Yeah, completely. Yeah, completely, yeah.
Because I'm sure that must have been so scary.
It was. Yeah, but after that, when that hurdle was jumped, when my parents are good with me and they're not holding anything against me and they're like, yeah, okay, this is not what we have wanted for you, but it has happened, but come home. Don't be out there and follow this with something, that might get you in a worse situation. So just come home and let's have this baby. At that point, we didn't know yet that I was having twins. So come on, let's figure this out.
Okay.
So yeah.
And then you found out you're having twins.
Yeah.
I know so many people are like, I wish I could have twins. I wish I could have twins. You had twins.
Yeah. Like I always see, like I told you, my sister was taken while I was still young. So having not grown up with that sister factor, I think kind of maybe it affected me, I don't know, but I always said if I had twins, I wanted to have twin girls.
Okay.
Yeah. And so when I found out I was having twins, I was like, yay, I just hope they're either two girls or at least a girl and a boy, but I have to have a girl. I don't want two boys. Yes.
Maybe because of the brothers, and all of that.
Like there's already enough testosterone in the family, so either two girls or a girl and a boy. But in my side of the family, we have twins a lot, and we have boy-girl. So I just kind of knew it was going to be a boy and a girl. Yeah.
So you had a boy and a girl. Who came out first?
Girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she's older by a few seconds.
20
minutes. Does she brag about it? Because most twins are like,
so
I'm
much.
older.
Yes, so much. I'm the eldest. Hey, welcome back. And he's like, by 20 minutes.
Okay. So you had twins. I'm sure that, as much as you wanted them, it's still a shock to find out. But you had the support of your family.
Yeah. Honestly, I think I was the one that was excited. Everyone else was, I think, a little scared for me because there are all these things. Oh, will you be able to carry them to term? Will you be able? I wasn't thinking that far. I was just like, yay. Yeah. Yay.
Okay. So you had your twins. Did life change for you?
Completely. Oh, completely. I remember, I mean, who else was having twins? I mean, not even, let alone twins, but babies among my friends. So it's a complete, yeah. I mean, you love these little human beings. There's so much work. Despite all the extra hands you have, yeah. And your life changes.
Yeah.
Your friends are still partying.
Still in university at that point,
Yes,
really.
still going out, still living their lives, and you have two little human beings that, you know, expect you to be there day and night. Yeah. So it was kind of hard adjusting to all that. Yeah.
Yeah. When you look back now, what was the hardest thing?
The hardest thing about the early days.
Was it all a blur? Sometimes you don't even you're just like, I got through.
I had so much help. Honestly, I remember I was still at home, so everyone was 100% helpful. That's for sure. Maybe the nights. My girl she was the sweetest, most peaceful baby. I keep telling people, if God had given me this girl only, I'd probably have 20 children. She was the easiest baby. Feed her, burp her, change her diaper.
Okay, you said if you had only her, you'd have 20 children, and now I'm thinking you only have twins. What did your boy do to you?
He was a handful. He's been feisty. Can you say feisty? From when he was a baby. Mind of his own and very headstrong. Yeah, so he fought everything. He fought sleep, he fought food, he fought... My goodness. My goodness, yeah. And then he was a colicky baby as well. So, yeah. Baby cries and you can't figure it out. And you do everything you can until you're also crying. And, yeah. But my mom, she's just everything. She's... God, I don't know what God should give her. I don't know how He will bless her. But yeah, she sang lullabies in the corridor at night. And yeah, she's mom.
She
She's
helped you
super
get...
mom.
Yeah. So when did you decide, like, you know, what are you going to do? Because once you have babies, you're home with the babies until they get a bit older. But once they become a little more independent, I mean, you had taken that break essentially to figure out where you wanted to go. Is that when you thought about radio? Or?
That's when my dad said, go back to school. It's time to figure this out. Remember, all you have is S6 levers. So
Okay.
what now? The kids are... Once they start growing, they've started growing. They're never going back to the early days. So now you need to figure you out. What do you want to do? So I said, hey, must come, remember? And now he's like, okay, what are our options? So we looked at our options and we decided to send me to Daystar University in Nairobi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So how long was that?
I was away from I think 2003 to 2007.
Okay.
But I would come and go.
Okay.
Yeah.
See the kids.
Come
You
and
must
go.
have missed
Yeah.
them terribly, though.
Yeah. They missed me too. We missed each other. But I would come and go. Nairobi's just here.
So you did and you finished there. You
Yeah.
graduated.
Yeah.
So is that what brought you into radio?
Now I did PR.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had gone to do writing. I had gone to do communication journalism. And then while there, I just feel like I said, journalism, because like I said, writing, like I'd always written even in primary school. I'd gone for this writing. We used to have like writing competitions and things like that. I had done that. So I kind of thought maybe that's what I would do. And then I just figured, this is not it. So somehow I gravitated towards PR.
Okay.
But then in my final year, I also figured that I don't think I'm going to practice PR. Yeah,
Okay.
Look at me. I know. Like, I just figure things out as I go. But yeah, I figured despite this, I don't think I want to be running PR campaigns and things like that. Yeah. Why broadcast never, I think, jumped out at me is I think the head of department, we just never took a liking to each other.
Previously on Crystal One-on-One.
I find it very hard, naturally, to be pushed around by anyone.
That's a good thing.
Yes. So I and at times you have to be intentional to let clients push you around because that's what works for them. They'll feel happier if you are a yes person. But there are moments where I've failed to come down to that level where, oh yeah, you are king or queen. Okay? Maybe they were wrong, maybe I was right, but at times it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, what I've learned is we need to choose the peaceful way out of situations like this.
Is there any reason for it?
We just didn't click, so I just wasn't drawn to that department. Yeah.
It's amazing how people can have that much influence, right?
Over the choices, yes. Over where life takes you, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you finished, you graduated, public relations, but you were pretty sure you didn't want to do that. So what happened next?
So I'm here and figuring it out. Of course, you know how parents are. My dad, especially, he's the kind who will cut out all the job ads and bring them to you. And, oh, there's an opening here and there's an opening here. You're laughing.
Hint, hint.
You know. And I'll just have every excuse to not apply or to say, yeah, I did send my application. And of course I didn't. But I was doing that for a while, and while I was at Daystar, I had met someone, a Ugandan, actually on the bus, that was buying clothes in Nairobi and bringing them and selling them here. And I had started doing that at university.
Okay, so you're doing a bit of business.
Yes. So it's what I started doing here as well. Now I'd go get clothes, I opened up a little boutique, and then would do that here. Get clothes, some cosmetics as well, and then come sell here. But that was just for, and of course my dad is still looking at me like, get a job, get a job. Yes. So I was doing that for a while, and then kind of my turning point was I lost a friend. Yeah. Tragically, yeah, very close friend, and I needed to I think I needed a time out, so I went and lived in Ginger for a while with a friend of mine, and I stayed there for I think close to 2 years. That's where I was working with the UTL shop, and I think after getting my head straight is where now I started asking myself, but what do I really want to do? Yeah, and soul searching, and also asking God, like, point me in the right direction. You say you have a plan for everyone, so what's the plan for Bella? Yeah.
Okay.
And then the radio came to me.
Okay. So did it click and then you decided to go start looking?
Yes, straight away, because I had wasted enough time doing everything else. Yeah.
Okay.
So it helped that I had a few friends already in the industry. Yeah, that I called up, gave me a few pointers, a few phone numbers here and there. Yeah. And
Where did you go first?
It was Vision Voice back then, XFM. Yes. So that's where I went first. Did a little bit of on air with Lucy Chihande, you remember? Yeah, they put me on with her a little bit to learn the ropes. I think I did 1-2 so Saturdays with Seema as well. But that was the time they were going through the transition. So there was really nothing they could offer me at the time. But Lucy had been, I think, at UCU. So she knew the people that manage Bob and Spirit FM, because it's the same management.
Okay.
So she pointed me in that direction and gave me a number and I took it on from there. So
Okay.
they gave me my first shot.
Okay. Spirit or Bob?
I went to ask for a job at Spirit FM. When I got there, after talking a little bit, they told me you're perfect for Bob FM.
Ah.
Yeah, you'd be
Okay.
perfect. I was like, they're like, no, I promise. And I'm like, I know nothing about country music. And they're like, you know what? Go listen to our radio for 2 weeks, then come back and we talk.
Okay. So was it maybe your idea of country music was
Yes,
like
Kenny Rogers.
yes, Dolly Parton.
Yes,
Ah,
yes.
yes.
Yeah.
No, there's some beautiful country music.
The
I mean,
most amazing
it's ridiculous.
music, yes.
Actually, once you get into it,
There's no going back.
it's just like all up in the feels, every emotion.
That's so me. That is so me. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Mhm.
Yeah.
So you listened to them for, you said 1-2 weeks?
Yeah.
And then you went back and you're like,
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah.